Mortal Kombat 2 producer Todd Gardner shared fresh updates regarding the sequel in a recent interview. Even though the reboot was not a big success, it showed good ratings in HBO Max, which allowed Warner Brothers to continue the franchise. According to Gardner, the mistakes of the first movie lie not only in its characters, but also in the small number of locations. If you remember, the events there actually unfolded mainly on Earth. We only saw a few scenes from Outworld, but nothing more. The producer directly promised the fans that many different places await us in the sequel. And if you think about it like that, there are a lot of iconic stages in games that could be coolly transferred to the big screens, but it seems Todd Gardner is more direct. It has already been officially confirmed that the Kingdom of Edenia, led by Jared, will appear in Mortal Kombat 2. Actually, it is even known which actors will play the main characters. I have already made a video on this topic. The link will be in the description. Here I'll break down for you exactly the story of Mortal Kombat 2. I will tell you what is officially known. Also, we will touch a little on rumors and leaks. So let's continue. We know that Edenia is confirmed. There's no doubt about it, as plenty of the announced Mortal Kombat 2 characters are so tightly connected to it. Queen Sindel, King Jared, and Kitana are the royal family of Edenia and are all confirmed to appear in some capacity. Also, Todd Gardner has revealed one more thrilling location that will appear in the sequel, the Temple. He revealed this on Twitter with a behind-the-scenes shot of one of the temple's dark corners. The Temple, also known as the Cathedral, is a stage that made its debut in MK3. In Mortal Kombat Gold, the arena called the Church made its appearance as a darker and more simplistic arena. It appeared with stained glass windows in the back. This dark place houses numerous ancient tombs. Shao Kahn had a temple constructed for himself within his palace during his invasion of Earthrealm, and apparently this temple will play a big role in a movie sequel. Overall, the Mortal Kombat franchise is full of surprisingly beautiful and lush locations, and even the grittier realms are rich with detail and fun to look at. In that respect, Hell could also be an important location. Hell goes by several different names in games, most notably Scorpion's Lair, and it's a playable area as well. One line from Shang Tsung hints that at least some of Mortal Kombat 2 will be set here, as he says at one point, "Death is just another portal." This dialogue teases the return of characters who were killed in the first movie, meaning that there could be some exciting fatality-filled rematches in Hell. We'll come back to this later. Let's start analyzing the plot. The most obvious storyline is the Mortal Kombat tournament itself, which was missing from the first movie and which many fans complained about. The authors stated that their plan was initially built around a trilogy, where the first movie was a planned as big introduction to the world of MK, the second showing the tournament itself, and the third telling about the events after it. In the center of the story will also be one key character, and this time apparently not Cole Young. Honestly, he was so unmemorable and boring that no one liked him. Originally, the idea was that his inexperience would have opened up the world of Mortal Kombat to regular viewers. But the idea failed, and it's time to introduce another more famous character, which we have already openly teased in the finale, Johnny Cage. His appearance will mean only one thing: we're going to Hollywood. Johnny Cage is the perfect character to continue the story that was started and dive into the twist of the tournament itself. The character played by Karl Urban should appear in the first 10 minutes of the sequel, as Cole Young has already gone to Hollywood to get him, and most likely that Mortal Kombat 2 will begin with these events. Cage has always been an important figure in the games. A lot of events centered around him, and some fans call him almost the main character of the whole franchise. And the choice of Karl Urban for that role has triggered many, and everyone is still criticizing this miscast. But let's try to look at it from a slightly different angle. In Mortal Kombat 2, Johnny Cage will be 56 years old, as he was in the 11th game. He is a former famous actor who has starred in films like Dragon Fist and Citizen Cage. He is of ancient origin and belongs to a cult that served the gods. Before his first tournament, Cage immediately tries to get the attention of Sonya Blade, and that's something to look forward in the sequel. Yes, Urban is much older than his character from the time of the first tournament, but the producers decided to age Johnny Cage a bit, and definitely he should become the most important and funniest character in a sequel. Johnny, unlike many, almost always has some human emotions, and I hope the authors will be able to adapt his charm, and Karl Urban will do a good job with the role, despite the fact that he looks nothing like him. Johnny Cage is stronger and faster than ordinary man. He is able to release green energy blasts from his fists, and that's going to be in the sequel too. It'll just turn out that he also has a dragon mark, and he'll activate his inner powers. Anyway, at the beginning of the movie, Cole Young will go to Hollywood. He's there to talk Johnny Cage into joining the Earthrealmers. Maybe Shang Tsung will send Baraka with some Tarkatans after their heads, and Cole and Johnny will be able to deal with them. Arriving at Raiden's temple, Cage will meet Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, and others. According to the plot, he will reveal his hidden power and also understand the true meaning of the Mortal Kombat tournament. At the moment when Cole Young and Johnny Cage will go to Raiden, we should be shown the Edenian events. We will definitely see Kitana played by Adeline Rudolph. There was already an Easter egg in the first part, so it was only a matter of time before she appeared in the movies, but that's not all. We will also see Jade. She will be a character with gray morals, often switching from the good side to the bad, as it was also in the canon. So it's unclear until the end what specific role will be given to her in the sequel. But personally, I think she'll be made more of a villain. In general, I hope that the authors will have enough budget to show Edenia very beautiful and large scale, and they will show more of its inhabitants, also known as Edenians. They're a species very similar to humans, but unlike Earthrealmers, they are direct descendants of the gods and therefore possess much greater affinities with magic, have a much longer life expectancy, and have a much slower aging process. The youngest of inhabitants, Princess Kitana, is 10,000 years old, but only appears to be in her late teens to early 20s. The Edenian storyline will center around King Jared, Kitana, and Jade. They find out that Shao Kahn wants to enslave their lands, so Edenia will be very important for the sequel. Jared's role will be short. He is doomed to die at the hands of Shao Kahn, and I think this will be the first scene where Shao is introduced to us. Personally, I would like to see the conquest of Edenia, similar to how Thanos destroyed the inhabitants of Zenhoberi. However, Edenia will be conquered, and there will be real strife within the royal family. Some will take Shao Kahn's side, and Kitana will eventually realize the villain's true motives and join Earthrealmers. In the first movie, a lot of important characters stupidly died, leaving fans confused. Yes, I also have tons of questions, but it seems the answers are quite obvious, as Shang Tsung said that death is just a portal, and it wouldn't be hard to bring the same Kung Lao back to life. Actor Max Huang himself retweeted such post, and was spotted on the set of the sequel. Either Shang Tsung will transform into Kung Lao during fights, or we will actually see the Revenants. And Bi-Han should become Noob Saibot, as Joe Taslim has already confirmed. I wouldn't be surprised if his origin was also retconned, and Noob would be some sort of revenant who would fight alongside Shang Tsung. About Kano, I also have a theory. He died after losing an eye, and it seems to me that nothing will prevent him from being brought back to life by inserting a canonical eye plate and restoring the damaged parts of his brain. Josh Lawson himself has already been spotted filming the sequel, so you shouldn't worry too much about Kano's return either. As you understand, any character can be returned to life in any outcome. As I said earlier, in Mortal Kombat 2, we may be shown scenes from hell. What if all the dead characters are alive there and the tournament takes place in several locations at once? This will be a great homage to the games, but let's wait for more updates to be more confident. Shao Kahn, who takes over Edenia, will move on. His next goal is Earth and the enslavement of all living beings. He simply must become the main antagonist of the sequel and threequel. And judging by the leaked replicas, Shao will not be an absolute evil. He will have his own moral code and even philosophical views. In the movie adaptations, he will be a kind of beast who believes that the strong should rule over the weak and that this is the true justice. Kitana is a sort of Gamora, but in the world of Mortal Kombat. She was adopted by the mad tyrant who had previously seized her home. She was raised by him in lies because only many years later she learns the secret about her past and real parents. Until this point, Kitana had been safely served Shao Kahn along with Jade. In canon, there was supposed to be a Melina as well, but she already died in the first movie, so screw it, I don't want to see her again. She is the worst character in the first movie. Having learned the truth about her origin, Kitana vows to fulfill her blood revenge, and Shao Kahn will send Jade after her. Jade is Kitana's childhood friend. They grew up and trained together, but again, it wouldn't be a big surprise if by the end of Mortal Kombat 2, Kitana still persuades Jade to side with Raiden. Still, they're iconic, and their connection to Shao Kahn makes them perfect characters for a Mortal Kombat sequel. The first movie is titled Mortal Kombat, but we were never shown the Mortal Kombat tournament itself. All events were postponed until the sequel, so the authors just have to get us the tournament, for no one will need the sequel. However, according to Joe Taslim, Mortal Kombat 2 will be bigger and more epic than the first, and producers promise that we will get the tournament in the sequel. All revived Revenants should fight for Outworld, and on Raiden's side, we have Sonya, Liu Kang, Kuai Liang, Johnny Cage, Jax, Cole Young, Kitana, and others. In order not to drag out this video, I'd rather release a separate one where I will talk only about the characters that will appear in Mortal Kombat 2. I personally expect the authors to take into account all the mistakes of the first part and give us a worthy sequel. Subscribe.